Hi everyone, welcome to Javatechie. Recently one viewer attended the interview in Oracle and he faced one tricky programming question using multithreading, that is how to print even and odd number in synchronized order using two threads in Java. Okay. In fact, I also faced this question before, so I thought of sharing multiple approach to solve this question which might help you for your future reference. Okay. So without any further delay, let's get started. So to solve this problem, we'll be using the concept of thread synchronization and inter-thread communication. These are the two key factor in multithreading. So we'll be go step by step. First, let me do the same example using Java 7. Then we'll move to the Java 8 with different approach. Okay. So first, let me create a new class. Even and odd printer by two thread. Since we want to implement the multithreading, we need to implement our class from runnable. This is up to you whether you want to implement from runnable or callable or you want to extend it from thread. Okay. Now we need to override the run method. Inside this run method, we need to write the logic to print one by one, even and odd in the synchronized order. So let me define one counter variable. Let's say static int count equal to 1. So I want to print from the 1 to the limit. So I will specify that in the while loop. So while count less than equal to 10. I want to print from 1 to 10. It is up to you. The limit you can set up to 100,000, whatever comes to you. Okay. So for now, let's make it a simple number. I want to print up to 10. Now until the loop will continue, we can validate this value, right? Count value will be print from 1 to 10. So we can validate whether it is even number or odd number. So for that, what I can do, if count percentile 2 equal to 0, it means it is a even number, right? And I want to set the thread name, thread dot current thread dot get name. If it is equals even, then print only the even statement, I mean even number. Okay. Now how we can make it synchronized one after another? We need to define a synchronized block here. Okay. And what object we want to synchronize? This current object. So what I'll do, I'll simply define one object and I'll define a constructor. Now here I want to synchronize this particular object, and inside this synchronize block I need to print it, then I need to wait for other thread to continue, right? So I will just add a SOP alien statement. So I'll define thread name. We can get the thread name from thread dot current thread dot get name. Then I just want to print the value. Value is nothing, your count. Fine. So once I print it, I need to immediately increase the count variable, because see, it's inside the loop, right? Now first time it will be 1, the next time it will be 2, and it will keep checking in your while block unless it will be reached to the 10. The loop will be keep continue. So once you increase the counter variable, then you need to wait for some time so that other thread means odd thread, will get a chance to execute. So how we can wait? Simply you can take the reference of object dot wait. This is the method wait and notify to perform the inter-thread communication. So it will cry because you need to handle it. Fine. Next, we need to write for odd thread. The way we have written for even thread, similar way we can start writing for odd thread. So what I'll do, I will just format it properly. Then I will start writing for odd thread to validate if count percentile 2 not equal to 0, it means it is odd, and the thread name should be odd because we have tried for even, right? Now we are doing for odd. Then again just do the synchronize to the object and then print this, increase the counter variable. Fine. Then simply notify to the other thread. So for that we'll use the notify. Okay, so see, the implementation is very simple. This guy will print the even number and will wait for a couple of time. Then this guy, the other thread, will print the odd number and he will notify once he is done. Then again he will get a chance, the first one. Then he will wait, this guy will continue, again he will notify, hey, I am done, you please continue. He will continue and wait. Like this wait and notify, these two threads will communicate with each other using this synchronized. That is the reason we have implemented the synchronized block, to make it one after another. Okay, now let's test this particular method. Okay, this implementation. So what I'll do, I'll just define a main method. Fine. Then I will create the object of runnable r1 equal to new even and odd printer. I mean the class name, right? This is the implementation. Fine. But why it is crying? Because it is expecting the object which we have applied the lock, right, in the synchronized. So you need to create a object here because we want to perform locking in the same object. So that is the reason I have defined in the constructor. So rename it to lock and give this object. How many threads we want to perform this task? 2 threads. So create 2 runnable instance. Fine. So we cannot execute runnable directly, right? We need to pass this runnable instance to the thread class constructor. So what I'll do? New thread and I'll give the runnable as a r1. Now I need to define my thread name. Did you observe here? I have written here thread.currentThread.getName equals even. If it is a even thread, then assign him to do this task. If the thread name is odd, then assign it to this task. So that is the reason I need to define the thread name. I want this thread to act as a even thread and immediately start it so that run method will execute. And then I will also define odd thread. This should be R2. So we have defined 2 thread and name of the each thread. So we are good. Let me run this. Can you see here? Thread name odd thread print the value 1, even thread print the value 2. Let me zoom this for you. In a sequence, okay? Odd 1, even 2, then odd 3, even 4. Like this it print up to 10. So if you want to print up to 100, just change the limit. Just run it again. Can you see here? Even number 96, odd value 95 in a sequence, one after another. The odd thread will execute first, then even thread, like that they will continue. Fine. So this we have implemented using pure Java 7. Okay. Now let's go one step ahead and start implementing using Java 8 completable future. So for that I will create another class. Just create a new class here. I'll name it even and odd printer by ES, executor service. Define the main method. Now here I want to again run from 1 to 10. Let's keep the limit short. So what I will do, I will use int stream dot range closed up to begin from 1 to 10. I want to iterate up to 1 to 10. Fine. So I'll just do the for each. Then the steps are very simple. Okay. Define the lambda here. Now inside this, I'll just write completable future. You can specify the type, but let's define the complete future and give the number. Fine. So once, okay, let me get the return type of it. Completable future of integer. So you can define it as a completable future. Fine. Then I want to run it in async. So you can use then apply async, and here you need to define the function. Okay, I mean the functional interface. So what you can do, you can simply define the lambda. Now here you can do validate whether it is even or odd. Okay, for now we'll validate for odd. So what I can do, if x percentile 2 not equal to 0, then simply I just want to print it. Sysout print the thread name thread dot current thread dot get name, and then print the value. Value is nothing, your x. Fine. Then return the number. Add a semicolon here. Fine. So we want to execute using the to thread. So for that we want to create the to thread. If not, completable feature will execute in the fork join pool. So for that, what I will do, I will create a to thread using executor service executor service equal to executors dot new fixed thread pool of 2. I want to create only 2 thread. Now I will give this executor service to this particular completable feature. Fine. Now what next? Next, simply we need to join that completable feature dot join. So better I'll name it completable feature 1, or I'll name it odd completable feature, because this is deal with the odd number, right? So I'll just change it to the odd completable feature dot join. Now same thing we need to do for even. So simply I will copy this and I will just change the value. So this should be even. This is the number. Now you need to define equal to 0 because we are doing for even. Okay, I just want to print the thread name and I want to print the value. Now return the number, give the same executor service with the to thread and just change it to the even completable feature dot join. Okay, so once you are done with this, just simply shut down the executor service. So executor service dot shutdown. I mean, once you utilize the thread, let's close it. Fine. Simple step, guys. We are just iterating from 1 to 10. Then we have created 2 different completable feature with the custom executor service, and in one completable feature we have defining for odd, and in the second completable feature we are defining for even. Okay, and then we are joining both the completable feature. So let's run this particular application. Just go here and just run it. Can you see here there are 2 threads from the executor service, pool 1 thread 1. Now let's verify this pool 1 thread 1 should print all the odd number 1, then this guy is 3. So let me filter it out. Now this one, can you see here all the odd number is being printed by this particular thread, pool 1 thread 1, like this. Okay, and if you'll check for the other thread, pool 1 thread 2, print all the even number. So here again, if you want to customize your thread name, so what you can do, simply create 2 different executor service by defining 2 different thread inside it, and then specify each individual executor service to the completable feature. Okay, let's say you have created one even executor service and odd executor service. Define the thread inside it and just specify even executor service in the second part and odd executor service in the first part. Okay, that is the simple steps, but we just want to go with the 2 different thread. Okay, rather we set the thread name, we are getting the thread name from the pool. That is what the number we can see here. That's fine, right? So this is the second approach. First approach we have done using the Java 7. Second approach we used Java 8 using the executor service and completable feature. Now in Java 8 I will show you the another approach where you can use the completable feature, Java 8 stream, functional interface, all the steps. So that is quite easy compared to the other two, but you should be strong in the Java 8 basic. So let me create another class. Let me copy this, just rename it to completable feature. Okay, or even an odd printer, that's it. Fine. Now here I will just define object private object equal to new object. Now first let me define a method who will execute the steps. So you can give any name. Let me define the method name as a execute itself. I want to define it as a static because I want to achieve the method reference. So it's up to you. You can create it non-static or instance. Then I want to define the value which I want to print based on the condition. So I will go in the backward direction. Okay, so I'm just writing the method where I just want to print the number which I will get from the loop. So this method I need to call from the loop. So we'll go step by step. So what I want to do, first I need to synchronize it. Synchronized object. So I cannot synchronize it here because this is the static method and I have defined the object is instance. So I need to define it as a static. Simple, right? Now here I'll just print it, sys out. Better I will copy from here thread name and the value I want to print is I. Fine. Now again inter-thread communication required here. What I need to do, I'll just define object dot notify. Once you print it, notify so that other thread can continue. So just define this and we need to keep it inside a try catch. Fine. So just add the log. So I have defined this execute method and I am giving the value to print it, then notify to the other thread and wait for it. Okay, that is a simple step which we understand in the Java 7 approach as well. Now I want to run this execute method based on some condition. So what I can do, I will define public static void print result based on condition. So what is the condition? Either even or odd, right? So there is something called int predicate which is condition. We'll just define two different predicate, one for even and one for odd, and then based on that condition this execute method will continue. Okay, so here what I can do, I want to run from 1 to 10. In stream dot range closed, begin from 1, go up to 10 or 100, what is the last limit you want to set. Fine. Then filter based on condition whether you want to execute the even or odd based on that condition. Then what you want to execute, right? So simply I want to execute this method. Which method? Execute method based on the condition. Since this is a static method, I can simply call like this, right? That is called method reference. What is the method name? Execute. Fine. So let's quickly define these two predicate for even and odd. We can define something like private static int predicate even condition, then just define the lambda. Okay, e percentile 2 equal to 0, then this is the even condition or even predicate. Similarly just copy it and just define for odd not equal to 0. See, the overall goal to just validate the type whether it is even or odd. In all the three approach we have followed this particular kind of scenario, right? So since we are using the Java 8 pure Java 8 stream, so we are going with the int predicate. Rather than you do it here, you can also do validate in this execute method by taking the value if I percentile 2 equal to 0, the way we have done in the Java 7. Fine. Now these are the two conditions we have defined. So what I will do now, next let me define the main method. Now here I'll just create a completable future, then I just want to run it in the async and I want to give the runnable. Okay, now for me the runnable is, I mean this is what the lambda, right? There is no rocket science. I'll take this and I will just call my method print result, right, and give the condition. Now you want to execute for even or odd. I will give odd. Similarly, I will create another completable feature who will create another thread for me and there I will execute my even condition. Fine. Now I have created two completable feature. I want to run them in the asynchronously and they will call this print result method by giving the condition. Can you see here? This particular method will execute from the range you have set from 1 to 10 and it will apply the condition whether it is even or odd. Based on that it will call this execute method. Okay, and in the execute method it will print the result and it will notify and wait for the further thread. Okay, that is the reason I have started implementing this from the backward direction, okay, to give you the hierarchy of the method call. Now all good. Next what you can do, we just need to sleep this thread for a couple of seconds. Okay, so thread dot current thread dot sleep. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just use thread dot sleep. I'll just sleep it for fine. Now just add exception to the method signature. That's it. Okay, so this will create two different thread and will execute based on the condition what we have specified here, and based on the condition it will loop and apply the condition and will call the execute method. So let's run it. We'll verify whether it is working or not. Can you see here? Again, the thread came from the function pool, and this guy is the first thread. It only print the odd number 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and this worker thread 2 will print the odd even number. Okay, so just mention here, we'll verify. Worker thread 2 printing the even number 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Okay, cool. So this is how you can implement this print even and odd with synchronize order by two thread in Java. So we have covered all the three scenario using Java 7, using Executor service, and using ComplatableFuture with Java8 stream. So I believe this particular example will be helpful for you. So you can give a try with all the three approach what we have discussed here. So do let me know in a comment section if you have any doubts, and also if you face any challenging interview question, you can share in a comment section. Okay, that's all about this particular video, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Meet you soon with a new concept.